I should have known this was coming. In fact, I did know. The second I received the invitation to my brother Nathan's wedding, I felt the familiar weight land on my chest. It wasn't an invitation. It was a summons, a carefully prepared script, where everyone had a role, where Nathan was the golden child, and I was the family shame. But I came anyhow, not out of hope, not because I desired to be liked, not even because I wanted to support my brother. I came because I had a plan. But before we get to that, let me tell you how I got here. I walk into the Grand Belmont Ballroom, one of the most expensive event spaces in the city. A crystal chandelier dangles from the ceiling, an extravagant reminder of just how much wealth my family holds. Tables are adorned with golden plates, white flowers, and the finest wine money can buy. Everything is costly, excessive, exactly what Nathan and my parents, Charles and Rebecca, live for. I take a slow breath, steadying myself. I don't belong here. I never have. Ryan. The voice cuts through the air like a sword. I turn to find my mother, Rebecca, standing near the entrance. Her gold-sequined gown clings to her slim frame, her hair groomed to perfection, not a strand out of place. She looks me over, her lips pressing into a thin line. "You could have dressed up a little more," she says, her tone laced with disappointment. I glance down at my navy blue suit, modest, tidy, nothing flashy. "Didn't realize there was a dress code," I reply, keeping my voice calm. She hums, a sound of dissatisfaction. "Well, at least you showed up. Try not to make a scene." And with that, she turns and disappears into the crowd. Try not to make a scene. It's funny, actually, as if I've ever been the one causing problems, as if I've ever been the one asking for attention. I wade through the sea of socialites, investors, and family friends, exchanging half-hearted nods and forced smiles. I know exactly why I was invited, to be exhibited as a cautionary tale. The black sheep, the disgrace, and soon they'll make sure everyone remembers that. I reach table 14, nestled far from the main family table, surrounded by distant relatives and old acquaintances. A strategic placement. Keep me out of sight. Keep me out of mind. A waiter fills my glass with champagne. I clutch the stem, letting the coolness settle in my fingers. Then, the lights dim. The music fades. A spotlight shines on the large screen, at the front of the ballroom. Nathan steps up from the head table, microphone in hand. His tuxedo is crisp, his grin is practiced, just like always. "Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight," he begins, his voice smooth, charming. "It means the world to have our closest friends and family celebrating this wonderful day with us. And as a treat, I've put together a little presentation. Some memories, some laughs, some love." Applause. Excitement. I take a slow sip of my drink. I know where this is heading. The screen flickers to life. First, there are photographs of Nathan and his new bride, Julia, their relationship, their trips, their triumphs. The crowd oohs and ahs at every frame. Then, photos of Nathan with our parents. Nathan's first baseball game. Nathan graduating from Harvard. Nathan sealing his first real estate deal. Nathan shaking hands with business moguls. Nathan, Nathan, Nathan. Always the golden boy. And then, the slideshow changes. An image of me appears on the screen. The caption. Beneath it is bold, unambiguous, infertile, divorced, failure, high school dropout, low income, single. For a moment, the room is still. Then, laughter. A wave of vicious, unrestrained laughter. Nathan grins, eating it up. "Come on, don't laugh too hard," he adds, his voice dripping with ridicule. "He might cry." My mother sips her wine. My father, Charles, chuckles. My ex-wife, Olivia, smirks. The laughter rolls through the audience like a storm. I hear snickers from distant cousins. A muttered pitiful from an old family acquaintance. Someone clinking their glass in faux celebration. I sit there, still, silent. My fingers tighten around my phone. Not yet, Ryan. Not yet. I can feel their eyes on me, watching, waiting for me to crumble, waiting for me to validate everything they've ever said about me. But I don't break. Because what they don't realize is that this is exactly what I was counting on. Nathan keeps talking, but I barely hear him. His words blur into the background, hum of my hammering heart, the static in my veins. I stare at the screen one last time, imprinting the image into my memory. Then I pull out my phone. I hit a button. My voice is calm, even. Begin. The room goes silent. It happens quickly. The screen flickers, malfunctions. The slideshow ends. And then, a new image takes its place. Big white letters dominate the screen, shining under the spotlight, breaking free live, the truth of emotional abuse by family. The laughter stops. Confusion spreads through the room like a cold wind. I watch as my mother lowers her wine glass. My father stiffens. Olivia frowns. Nathan's confident smile falters. People start whispering, shifting uncomfortably in their seats. And then, a notification pops up in the corner of the screen. Live. Watchers. 200. 400. 6,000. 10,000. The numbers climb. Then a message appears. Bright. Unmistakable. A comment from Olivia's fiancé. The evidence is gathered. The legal team is standing by. You are not alone anymore. I glance up. For the first time in my life, I see it. Fear. Real. Irrefutable. I exhale. Steady. Slow. Let's begin, shall we? And just like that, the power shifts. For the first time in my life, I hold the mic. Failure. Not as the outsider, but as the man who finally set himself free. I step outside, breathe in the chilly night air, and let the past drop off my shoulders like a thick garment. For the first time, I don't carry their words with me. For the first time, I am truly free. And as I peek at my phone, watching the viewing count climb past 3 million, I grin. Because this time, the whole world finally understands the truth. I should be done. I should walk away. Let the weight of their guilt crash down on them like an avalanche and disappear into the darkness. But there's one last lie that needs to be burned to the ground before I leave this place for good. The biggest lie of all. The one they used to humiliate me, to insult me, to make me feel less than a man, my supposed infertility. And now, with the entire room in tatters, my mother in quiet shock, my father absolutely paralyzed, and my brother standing alone in the rubble of his wedding, I finally deliver the final truth. And this one is going to sting. A lifetime of lies. For years, they weaponized it against me. Ryan can't even give his wife a child. What's the point of a man like that? No wonder Olivia left him. What type of woman would stay with? A broken man? It's a disgrace. It's a stain on our family's name. Over and over they said it, whispered it at family gatherings, let it slip at public occasions, flung it in my face whenever they wanted, constantly told me how much of a failure I was, and I let them. Because when you grow up in a house where your voice means nothing, where you are always the mistake, the afterthought, the lesser one, you stop questioning what they tell you. You just accept it as truth, until one day, you don't. Until one day, you wake up. Until one day, you get tested, and you find out the truth. They were lying. Not just lying, suppressing the truth. I step forward, letting the tension in the room rise. The screen behind me flashes with the following document, a medical report. The heading is bold, crisp, impossible to overlook. Patient, Ryan Carter, fertility assessment findings. No issues discovered. Silence. Deep, oppressive silence. Then, gently, I glance toward Nathan, and I smile. Now this is intriguing, I say, my voice calm, controlled. since according to this, I'm totally fine. Nathan's expression barely changes, but his eyes flash with something primal, dread, remorse.